Yo, what's going on, people? King Rich is back again. We are going to react to a compilation of videos where women are complaining because they do not feel they're getting fair treatment based on their looks. Yeah, we always get told it's all about your personality, looks don't matter, blah, blah, blah. But for these women, it seems like looks matter quite a bit. So let's see what they've got to say about it. Make sure you like the video. This is going to be interesting. All right, cool. We're in there, so let's see what they got.
How do you love a face that's been considered ugly your entire life? How do you find a face, your own face, beautiful when everyone else considers it to be ugly? It's not that I think I'm ugly, it's I basically know I'm ugly. How, you may ask? Well, when a boy spits on you and calls you ugly, that's how you know. When the boys in school would ask you out as a joke during their truth or dare games, that's how you know. When the mean girls would ask you to your face, why's your nose so big? That's how you know. When you'd be the only one sitting alone at the table while everyone else has a date for prom, that's how you know. When you're so ugly that people feel the need to come and tell you, you know. I try to use makeup to beautify myself, but when I put on the eyeliner, all it does is emphasize how one eye is bigger than the other. I put on the lipstick, but all it does is it reminds me of how lopsided my lips are. I put on the contour, but all it does is it reminds me of how big my nose is. It just doesn't work. And then sometimes I think and look into the ceiling in a daze, and I just think that how cruel people are for the simple act of simply being born as an unattractive woman.
And it's not just women who face this, it's men who face this as well. And to be honest, I will give it to her. She did mention how women or girls are mean to her as well. And it's not just men that have like treated her a certain type of way. But in my opinion, I feel like if you are an unattractive man, you are gonna have a hard road. Do you get what I'm saying? And a lot of people would probably tell an unattractive man that, yeah, get your money up. If you want to attract women, you're going to have to make a lot of money, etc., etc. But the problem with that is if you do lead with your wallet by making a lot of money, you're probably just going to attract a woman who's going to use you for money. Whereas a woman, you know, like this one talking, she will still be able to attract some guy. There are guys out there who will happily couple up with this woman. I think that there are more men out there who feel like they're in a basically an impossible situation in terms of dating and finding a mate. I can guarantee if this woman decides to go on Tinder or Hinge or whatever dating app, she will get matches 100%. Now, I can't really speculate the quality of those matches, but she will get matches. So, you know, it is different. But anyway.
And some days it hurts knowing that I am going to be nobody's somebody, that I have a lot of love to give, but it will never be received by anyone.
That's not true. That's not true. There is going to be a man out there that is going to be willing to couple up with you. Like, I don't know how old this woman is, what stage of life she's in. If she's, I don't know. I don't know what stage she's in, but obviously when you're in high school, people are very cruel. Children, kids are very cruel, right? And what I remember from high school is that, people are usually looking for somebody to pick on, and once you get singled out as a victim, as a target, everybody will come and take their shots at you. But in adult life, I think that is different. In adult life, I think that as a woman, you have intrinsic value, and there are some guys out there that will be happy to take you on and be with you and have a family with you. Do you get what I'm saying? Now, the question is, will you be happy to be with those men? Because I think that a lot of these women, they talk about not being picked by men, but they're not getting picked by the men that they want. Do you get what I'm saying? So anyway.
Because they won't notice my warmth. They'll probably notice my asymmetrical face, my PCOS hair, basically, and how one nostril is bigger than the other. And I'm pretty sure if I were to find my soulmate, his friends would basically make fun of him.
I think that this woman is very insecure. She's talking about asymmetric face and one nostril's bigger than the other and all of this. Bro, like, I can't really notice it. Like, I'll be real. She's not somebody that I would be attracted to. But I've seen women that look like this and they've got husbands and children. Do you get what I'm saying? So I think maybe her experience in high school was maybe, led to this kind of way of thinking. But, in adult life, it's different.
As soon as I leave the room, they'd probably be asking him, like, what are you thinking? Why her out of all people? And I've quietly accepted my fate into this. But then I think about this is that why should I continue to hate my face because everyone else hates it? I agree with everyone. I am, quite hideous. But should I hate it? Like, this hideous face was the face that quietly stood her ground when everyone in school called her ugly. This is a face that fought back tears when no one, asked her to prom.
Another thing I would say about this, she's got an American accent, so that lends me to believe that she is in the States. And in my opinion, I think that America is very superficial. If you are not the standard of beauty, if you're not aesthetically pleasing in America, you're in trouble and you're going to get told that you're not good enough. And it's obvious that this girl, this woman here, she's got a lot of self-esteem issues, insecurities now based on what she's been told in high school, right? By boys and girls. Do you get what I'm saying? So, like, and I honestly think a lot of times girls can be way more mean than guys will. Do you get what I'm saying? So, yeah.
This is a face that accepted all sorts of cruelty. Yes, it is ugly. It is an ugly face. But should I just be as cruel to it as everyone else? I do believe my face deserves some affection from myself, at least, for being all that it's been through, as some sort of reward. Yes, everyone else hates it, but should I really hate it? I think I deserve to be softer on myself, and I'm going to try to spend the rest of my life loving my face, even though there are going to be difficult days. Do I hate this face? Yes, but do I want to waste my life hating it? No.
I don't even think that she's that bad. Like, I think that, again, she's got a lot of insecurity and self-esteem issues, and maybe she may have been bullied at school and stuff like that. So now she's got like this very warped view of her face. But like, at the end of the day, as I said, once you get out of that stage or that phase of being around immature people, you go out into the real world, there are gonna be men that will be happy to couple up with you. You are in a very superficial country environment. You're around very superficial people. I don't know what state she's in, but it's gonna be tough in that environment. It's just like how I talk about the whole heightism issue. In America, it's on a different level to everywhere else on the planet. You're in a bad location. Simple as that. But anyway.
When you are dark skinned with Afrocentric features, the way you have to learn that you are not ugly, the way you have to grow into your pretty and your beauty is criminal and depressing, and it should be illegal because it's kind of like a mind spiral for you. Especially like for me, like I grew up with acne and I was always complimented on my personality and my sense of style. So to always be the funny one and the stylish one to now actually being called pretty all the time, because I didn't start getting complimented on how pretty I was until like the last 2 or 3 years. So to never be called pretty at all your entire life, to now all of a sudden, oh, you're stunning, you're beautiful, you're da-da-da-da-da. There's a level of hesitation there. It's not that I can't accept a compliment. It's just that it's kind of like, for real? Like, you kind of feel like, for real. And the worst part is, because you struggle a little bit to accept the compliment, or you kind of struggle a little bit like to, stand in it and accept it, a lot of people around you will try to make you feel like, oh, you're insecure, or you're this, or you're that. And it's kind of like, no, it's not that. Like, I've had to develop my self-confidence and my self-esteem on other things outside of my beauty. And now that y'all are giving me tens and props for my beauty, I don't know how to take that, if that makes sense. And I know I'm not the only like dark-skinned person with a big nose and big lips that feels like that. I know I'm not. So yeah.
Why do you always keep like clicking your mouth every time you speak? Like, I find that to be so weird. Like, why do people do that? Why can't you just speak without making these extra sound effects? Like, that's so weird. It's like a cartoon character, stereotypical caricature. Like, yeah, moving on.
Hey guys, welcome back to my
Hold on, man. Alright, what's this one got to say?
I feel like nobody really talks about the process of building up your confidence and building up your self-esteem after growing up being classified as ugly. I know this seems like so trivial and like such a non-issue, but it really I feel like it comes from being so sheltered as a kid and like not being able to experiment with clothes, with hair, with makeup for so long. And then just like being let loose into high school and like all these beauty standards that you feel like you have to meet and all these prettier girls and all this like your friends getting male attention and you're just there. I just feel like it adds on and it's just so hard to overcome. Like, I'm not going to sit up here and tell y'all that I don't get called pretty. I get called pretty on a day-to-day basis by my friends and I get a decent amount of male attention. But for some reason I can't internalize what these people are telling me. Like, I will obviously have my days that I feel like I'm like the baddest bitch on the fucking planet. But I will also have my lows. And when my lows come, they're really fucking low. Because I just feel like every time my lows do come, it's just like reoccurring thoughts and feelings from when I was a you, you know? You, the fuck. Obviously, self-love is a journey. It's going to take me a while to 100% fully love myself, every inch of myself, every part of me. My personality, my looks, my voice, my hair, my face, like everything. But it's just baffling to me, like, how long it's taking me, you know? But at the end of the day,
I just think it's baffling how men go through this every single day of our lives, and we don't really come to the internet and complain about it that much. I mean, to be fair, in recent years with the rise of the black pill, you know, and guys coming out, you know, talking about how looks matter, and you have some guys that complain about being unattractive and stuff like that. But on the whole, most guys do not complain about their looks and, you know, just carry on with life. You know, a lot of times us guys, we know where we stand in the hierarchy of looks. You know, when you're a guy that's probably on the shorter side, you know that there's going to be women that are going to discriminate against you, and you just carry on with your life. You know, if you're a guy who doesn't really have an attractive face, you know, you accept that. Do you get what I'm saying? You know, and all these other things. But for some reason, when this happens to women, when it happens to girls, like, they need to come to TikTok to tell everybody about how they feel about it. And I just find it strange. And it really goes to show that many women are accepting of the fact, subconsciously, that their highest commodity is their looks. You know, they forget about personality, forget about accomplishments and all of that. Most women will just want to be beautiful and that's it. Do you get what I'm saying? And I think this goes to show that, because, you know, these lot are making these TikToks based on, oh, in high school, no one liked me. Guys didn't want to talk to me, blah, blah, blah. But, bro, there should be more about you to talk about or to worry about or think about than your looks. But anyway.
I'm only 17. Like, I'm pretty sure that there's like 1 million other, a billion other teenage girls out here having the same exact experience as me.
It's not just girls, it's guys as well. But guys don't really have space to talk about it. You know, if a guy at the same stage of life as you came out and started talking like you're talking, people would probably laugh at him.
And that brings me comfort. You know, it doesn't bring me comfort that other people find themselves ugly. It brings me comfort that I know that I'm not the only one that's struggling with this.
This video is for anybody who has grown up fat or was otherwise told that they were ugly and unlovable. It is the weirdest fucking thing to grow up being told that love, romantic love, is like the most important thing, the defining human experience, and like this rite of passage that everyone goes through, and it's like the happy ending to every story. Every movie ends with kissing and marriage and romantic love. There's all these quotes, there's all these sayings like, all you need is love, and love conquers all, and love is blind, and all this shit. And then at the same time, to be hearing all of that, internalizing all of that, especially as a woman, and then to be told that that's not available to you, you are too ugly, you can't have it.
That's not true. Again, women have intrinsic value. There is a man out there. There's more than one man. There's many men out there that will couple with this woman. Now, you guys watching and myself, you may think, oh no, I don't find this woman attractive for whatever reason. But there are guys out there that do. There are guys out there that do. If she goes on Tinder or Hinge, makes a profile, whatever, there will be guys that match with her. Now, I'm not saying these are going to be 6'8", attractive guys or whatever, Chads and Tyrones, but there will be a guy out there that will want to talk to her and date her. But will she want to be with that guy? That's the problem.
The defining human experience is not for you. It's not for you because of your looks. Maybe because of something you can't even control. Maybe because of your race or your facial features or something about you, your disability, like something that is just a part of you that you were born with. And maybe it's something that you're told you can't control, like me with being fat, and told that it was my fault that I didn't deserve the defining human experience and I didn't deserve love because I should be fixing the problem that I was assumed to have caused. And this is why people go to such...
Well, hold on. She's talking about the problem people assume that she caused. Let me say this from the top. The amount of people on this planet who are overweight because of medical conditions that are out of their control is extremely low. Most people, the vast majority of people who are overweight, clearly overweight, they are in that situation because of their own choices. Now, you cannot force other people to find you attractive. It's as simple as that. Like, and if you do not choose to change your situation, then that's on you. You cannot come to TikTok or social media and start crying because people don't find you attractive. The Chads and Tyrones that you want don't want you. You can't complain. It's either you accept your lot in life or accept your choices or make a change. Simple as that. I think, again, if this was a guy complaining, oh, girls don't want me because I'm overweight and they're saying it's my fault and blah, 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 people would laugh at him. People will tell him to shut up and lose the weight. And that's facts.
Crazy lengths to like improve their appearance. There's this whole like femcel community. People are getting plastic surgery. People are going on like insane eating disorder diets. Like people do whatever it fucking takes because we are told that love is so important. And so people will do
What about your health? What about health being important? Because whether you like it or not, if somebody is overweight, yeah, what it tells the outside world is that probably you didn't have much discipline with your choices, you know, whether it be how you eat, your diet, or how much exercise you partake in. So at the end of the day, people are going to make some snap judgments based on how you look. If you are somebody who's in shape, people are going to look at you and think, wow, that's somebody that takes care of themselves. That's somebody that has discipline. It's a simple thing. You on the screen talking, you do that as well. So like, I don't really understand where this girl's coming from. Like, do you get what I'm saying? Like, and at the end of the day, regardless of all of that, there are men out there that will still match with her, that will couple with her. I have seen throughout my whole life women that look like this woman here with husbands and children, bro. So I don't really understand what the point of this is.
Fucking anything to get it. It is an easy leap from love as the defining human experience and the most important thing ever, and you are unlovable and will never have it if you stay as you are. It is an easy leap to life is not worth freaking living.
But I've got to ask the question, why are you so against maybe changing your lifestyle? Making some changes, maybe self-improving? Why are you so against it? Why is it the self-improvement will be some crazy bad diet, or like, why is it all a bad thing? Self-improvement is not a bad thing. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I don't really understand where she's coming from. You are in the situation that you choose to stay in. Stop complaining.
So either you're crushed by existential despair, or you have to question it and say, well, this sounds kind of shallow. If I can't have it because of my looks, maybe love is not the end-all be-all, and then that's its own kind of alienating. And so maybe you define yourself in other ways. Maybe you become a girl boss who wants to like move up in the world and have an amazing career and like not define yourself by love. Sure, that's all great, but then you're still told that it's the most important thing, and that single women with great careers or whatever the stereotype is still don't have a man, so they still aren't happy. And it's still at the end of every movie, and every song is about it. And if you don't have that experience, you can't relate to 90% of songs. And so this is what I did. I said, I'm going to be a badass career woman because I can't have love, so better focus on everything else and do everything else better than everyone else.
But this woman here doesn't make any sense. She's talking about, so she wasn't finding love, so she chose to be a career woman and be a boss or whatever. But you could have used that same energy to maybe get in better shape. Like, I don't understand. Like you're basically saying you're being treated a certain type of way because of how your image is right now. Why not change your image and see if your change gives you better results? No, you don't want to do that. You want to jump into your masculine energy and be a girl boss. This doesn't even make sense.
If I still want to have a happy life. And then the second you decide maybe that career is not for you, or the second that you examine why you are so hard on yourself about it or why you're working so hard for it, it all comes crashing down and you have literally an existential crisis, because what do you live for now? And if you realize that everything you've ever done is a band-aid for not being able to be loved, like, woo, that's a lot. So if you have some baggage about this, I see you, I feel you, that makes sense.
I saw a couple videos talking about this, but I just wanted to throw my 2 cents in on how frustrating it is not to be conveniently attractive in this day and age specifically, and also not knowing anything. So I'm 21. I don't know how to do my natural hair. I don't know how to do makeup. I don't know how to dress. And it's not that I don't want to do these things. I want to, but no one realizes how hard it is, especially like when you ask for help and people are just like, well, do what makes you happy. Where would you want to be happy? But the point is, I want to be happy wearing new things and not look like a fool. I want to wear makeup but not look like a clown. I want to do my hair, but I don't want it to look bad, you know? And when you ask for guidance and stuff like that, it's just so hard. And you try to look up online, and when people don't look like you, they look conventionally attractive, it's so much harder because you're like, this will never look as good on me than it does on them.
You need to worry about yourself. Stop worrying about how things look on other people and blah, blah, blah. You just got to work with the cards you've been dealt. And again, I have seen during my lifetime women that look like this and they have husbands and children. There are men out there that will be willing to couple with a woman like this. Maybe not me personally, maybe not you guys watching this video, but there are men out there that they will see her and think, you know what, boom, I want to go there. So really and truly, when they complain, it kind of just goes over my head, because I understand that women in this world have intrinsic value, right? And that's it.
Harder because you're like, this will never look as good on me than it does on them.
As someone who grew up being called ugly and not fitting into any beauty standard, it's so hard for me to like take a compliment, like to accept a compliment. When someone says I'm pretty, the first thing that comes to my mind is, really? Oh my gosh, thank you so much. And I hate that for me because it makes me come across as so insecure. But that's just like a trauma response because my brain can't seem to comprehend that somebody finds me pretty or beautiful. And this started when I was younger. Like, people would come up to my parents, they would be like, oh, your child, is that a girl or a boy? And my dad would get so angry. Like, people would literally say to my parents' face that, oh, if only she looked like her mother, she would be so much prettier. To the point where my parents had to like pierce my ears for people to be able to like identify me as a girl. Like, it's so weird. I have this friend, and whenever I would go to class last year, she would be like, oh, Mhlali, I was there you look so beautiful. And like, I would be like, really? Or I would say, oh, now we're all mhle. And she told me, Michelle, you need to learn how to take a compliment. Like, if someone says something nice about you, just learn to like take it in, accept it. You don't have to say something nice back. You don't have to, you know. But I'm still struggling with it.
Bro, you need counseling, bro. You need counseling to get over those comments that was said to you back in the past. And this still of her is so crazy right now. But anyway, bro, at the end of the day, you need to just get over what happened in the past. Because if you're getting compliments now, guys telling you that they find you attractive, why don't you just roll with that? And why are you thinking about what happened like 10 years ago or 15 years ago?
Still struggling with it. And the reason why this is like crossing my mind right now is because someone told me today, you're so beautiful. Like, oh my gosh, you're so beautiful. And the first thing that came out of my mouth is really, and I really hate that for myself.
Okay, so here's the skinny on the stitch. Yesterday, I saw a video of a girl talking about how hard it is to grow up ugly in secondary school, and I couldn't agree more. I wanted to duet the video, but I don't know if it was taken down or what.
Why have you got this excessive makeup around your eyes? Like, I just don't understand. Like, when people do all of this extra stuff, like, what are they thinking? Like, I don't know, bro. Anyway.
I can't find any more. But anyway, yeah. Growing up unattractive or, like, just not being conventionally attractive in secondary school is extremely difficult. People will not give you a break. They won't let you rest. For some reason, they can't just let you exist within yourself. They always have to say something or do something to make you feel or to remind you they're not conventionally attractive. I face this, and it really does affect people. It really does. You can tell by the way they treat you. Like, pretty privilege is so real. No matter what stage of life you're at, even when you're a kid, people will be like, oh, she's such a darling, she's got beautiful curls, she's got this, that. But then if you see like an ugly kid, people will be like, oh, nice child you've got there. But anyway, that's off topic. In secondary school, when I was in year 8, I liked a guy, and basically he found out because a friend snaked me. And when I tell you, for the next 2, even 3 years, basically up until like late year 10, early year 11, they just would not leave me alone. They were constantly talking to and about me, always saying something, always having to do something. I could never just exist in a classroom or exist in the playground or whatever without them having to say or do something. Or even just the way they would look at me, you can tell by...
As I told you already, yeah, in high school ages, when you're in school, it is hard. Kids are cruel. And a lot of times, if you're not in the select group, you might get bullied. Yeah, and it happens to guys and it happens to girls.
By the way they look at you, they're just like they made sure I knew that I was unattractive. Like, I already knew, but like, they made sure that I was fully aware. They used to make fun of my physical appearance as well. Like, they used to make fun of different physical attributes. At some point, one of them made fun of how I turn around whenever someone calls my name. So like, to this day, I still feel insecure about it. I think one of them made fun of my hands. So for the longest time, I hated my hands. And even when they weren't directly making fun of me, I was always scared that something I was doing would be a trigger for them to say something about me. It was especially tough, not only growing up as a black girl who doesn't look like a supermodel, because apparently that's the only type of beauty we can have, but also growing up as someone who's naturally timid in nature. They always made sure that I would stay shut up. If people who don't think you're attractive don't want you to say anything, they don't want to hear you, they will make sure that you shut up. They will shut you up. They won't want to hear you talk. They won't want to see you existing. They don't want you around.
It kind of sounds like when women reject guys they find unattractive as well. Because when you're a guy that a woman doesn't find attractive, they don't want to see you. They don't want to hear you. They don't want to know that you exist. So what she's explaining is basically the life of an unattractive man. But as an adult, I'm not talking about just in high school when you're with immature idiot kids. No, we're talking about as an adult. Grown women will treat grown men like that.
They basically just want you to be invisible just because your appearance inconveniences them. And it's so sad. And it's worse when it's with secondary school kids, because they have the brutality and honesty of kids, but they have the knowledge and the awareness of an adult to know where to hurt you and what to say. Even the way your friends would treat you as well. Like, I felt it, man. When the only compliment you get is being called cute to show that you're physically attractive. Not to say that being called cute isn't a compliment, because it can be, but you can tell when people are like, oh, she's cute. Like, oh, she's, yeah. They don't want to say anything else because cute can be so subjective. Like, people think pug dogs are cute. I think pug dogs are cute, but some people think they're just butt ugly. It got so bad that at one point they made fun of some issues I was having with, like, wanting to stay alive.
People really don't talk about what it feels like to grow up as the ugly friend. My ex-best friend, she was the pretty best friend. First part of it is I was actually not even ugly. The only difference between me and her was she was light-skinned and Hispanic, and I was black. And the effects of literally being in the shadow of somebody literally destroyed my self-esteem for...
Well, obviously, if your friend was conventionally more attractive than you, that's gonna probably make you look less attractive. That's just a standard thing. It's like if you are a guy and you're 5'5" in height and you're always around the guy that's 6'5", that's gonna make you look more smaller. That's gonna make you look shorter because you're like at opposite ends of the spectrum. So if you are a girl that is not all that, and then you're walking around with a girl that most guys find attractive, that girl is gonna get all the attention, and you're just gonna look more unattractive. That's just the truth. She said that her ex-best friend, the only difference was that she was Hispanic. Are you sure that was the only difference?
Literal years. I literally felt like I didn't even have an identity because every time people would see me, they would be like, oh, you're so-and-so's best friend? And no, I cannot blame her, but she definitely did not make the experience any better. And people literally would argue with her and be like, shut the F up with your ugly ass best friend. And ultimately, it had got me in a space in my life where I felt like I would never be deemed as beautiful because I wasn't light-skinned and I didn't have long curly hair or a big butt. I was just, a little scrawny little black girl. Now that I'm older and I think about it, I just, I cry for little Aaliyah because I did not deserve that. I did not deserve that at all. And I did not deserve to have a friend that didn't defend me or make me feel like I was beautiful. It was just always about her.
I actually think you need to grow up, to be honest. Like, you're talking about something that happened in high school. All of these women and girls, they're talking about high school experiences. Bruh, like, that is just a small phase of your life. If it's that deep, go and get some counseling over it. But really and truly, you need to grow up. You know how they tell men to man up. I think you need to start telling women to woman up. Because you're talking about sometimes I sit down and I think about that friend of yours or ex-friend of yours. She's not thinking about you. She's living her life somewhere, wherever. Do you get what I'm saying? You need to live your life. Why are you thinking about what happened in high school? You're not there anymore. You're in a different phase of life. You're an adult.
Now, I'm just so happy for myself that I know that I'm beautiful and I do not need to be light-skinned or Hispanic to be beautiful. And if you have a friend like that, please get a new friend.
So as most of you guys know, I grew up ugly. But whenever I mention this online, bitches will be like, no, you didn't. You didn't grow up ugly. Bitch, have you seen a photo of me? You're just talking blindly. It's fine. It's fine that I grew up not conventionally pretty. It's literally fine. I get it. Maybe people say this to make other people feel better. It really doesn't. It just makes you look really shallow. Just because I look like this doesn't mean I look like this years ago. It's just so funny to me. Why people say that.
Have you noticed how there's an air of arrogance in this woman? There was even an air of arrogance in the last girl as well. Talking about, I didn't used to look like this. Yeah, you're saying that I never used to be ugly, but I never used to look like this. Now there's a little air of arrogance and ego right now. She thinks that she's the one. You know what I mean? But anyway.
Seen a photo of me before when I was younger. You haven't. So why the fuck are you saying you didn't grow up ugly? It's fine for me to not grow up conventionally pretty. It's fine for me. I don't need a certain type of this pity almost.
I watched a YouTube video on how it feels to be the ugly friend, and I want to talk about how growing up, that really affected me. Mind you, I love myself now. I'm fucking beautiful now. The fuck, you can't tell me shit. But that's because I had so many younger kids tell me when I was younger that I was ugly as shit. Also, that my teeth were too big because my teeth were really, really big for the size of my head. I eventually grew into them, obviously, but my teeth were big, my eyes were big. I was just overall the goofy looking one of the school. Mind you, I went to a school where I was there from 3 years old to 10 years old. So a good 7 years of my life was just being bullied by the people that I was around. But not only did it develop my personal character, but development requires being broken down. So of course it's not always enjoyable. But how did I get through it? How did I, actually develop? It literally was just with time. It took time for me to realize, like, this is the only body that I have. Like, I'm only going to be myself in this body once, and then I'm going to pass away. And it took me really sitting with that realization, and also realizing, like, if I'm going to be with myself for this long, I might as well love me. And also, who are these people to tell me anything? Like, I'm not going to die with them. I don't have to spend every single waking moment of my life with them. So do their opinions really matter? Fuck no. But of course, telling this to like a 6-year-old who just got called ugly on the playground, that's not really going to do much. And this is really why it just takes time. So if you are a younger kid watching this, which I don't know if you will, but it really does just take time learning to love yourself and to fully accept yourself. And
I actually agree with what this girl's saying. Like, yeah, it does take time. Like, yeah, that is a phase of life, and everybody gets teased, and some people do get bullied, and there's levels to that, but that phase in life is not going to last forever. Do you get what I'm saying? And especially for women, bro, like, I'm sorry, like, the life of a man who is deemed unconventionally unattractive is going to be worse. And that's just it.
And to realize that you aren't ugly, and that true ugliness is on the inside, and that truly a lot of people that look physically attractive on the outside, a lot of them are ugly on the inside, and that those two things do not equate. Who you are on the inside is much more important. But while it is nice to, look good on the outside, the true affection of your beauty is internal, whether you look good on the outside or inside or whatever. Loving myself and feeling comfortable took a minute, but it is never impossible.
The older I get, I be happy that I grew up the undesirable or fat, black, and ugly one. Because one thing I notice about a lot of y'all are so weak to flesh. And y'all can't be alone with yourselves because you're afraid of who you might find.
How do you know if you're the ugly friend? Sprinkle, sprinkle. How do you know if you're the ugly friend?
I don't want to listen to this witch. Oh yeah, for anyone that doesn't know, this woman's a witch. Self-proclaimed witch as well. So I don't really want to hear what she's got to say.
The assigned ugly friend, if we're talking about social media settings, is that whenever you go out with one another, they never like to acknowledge on social media that they hang out with the likes of somebody like you, the assigned ugly friend. The reason why I say this is that you serve a purpose for them when they go out, when they want male attention, when they need just a little bit of company and accessory when they're outside in real life. But you see, social media, that's their constant place where they're able to angle themselves for the life they want to live, because they're aspiring. The pretty girl's always looking for something. If it's not the male gaze, it's for something. So you'll find that you'll go out with them. If you tag them in a video, they won't acknowledge it. They won't repost it. You find yourself recording them. If they record you, you never see that footage. They don't send you anything, and they definitely don't post it. Or they will encourage you to record them or take pictures of them, but they never return the favor. And if they do take a picture of you, they always conveniently take a bad picture of you.
Boy, so like basically this woman here is talking about being friends with pretty women and how pretty women are basically bad mind. Yeah, they're bad mind to their friends who they even perceive to be unattractive, and how they treat those kind of women.
The reason why I say this is because it's pretty evident, because there's only two other girls that trump the typical pretty girl. That's the popular girl. She's normally a model or an influencer. She is well known, very popular, and has the social media following to back that. Or you have the rich girl. We're talking generational wealth, aristocrat. We're talking the wallet of daddy that gets her into rooms that the pretty girl could only dream of. Yeah, and that's who she really wants to be friends with. People normally aspire upwards. That's just society.
No one talks about growing up the ugly friend that was never actually ugly. I was just black. Being a black girl was like an automatic write-off. What do you mean you're black? You're ugly. That's what you are.
Oh, wow. Come on, man. This girl here talking about, like she's automatically being deemed as unattractive because she's black. Come on, man. Come on.
Like, I remember anytime me and my friends would go out, like all my friends were white, by the way. And anytime we would go out, like different groups.
All her friends are white. So just from her saying all her friends are white, that leads me to believe that you probably live in a predominantly white area. So you are 1000% not going to be the standard of beauty in that environment. Most of the men there are probably going to be white guys who want to date white girls, because majority of people want to date within their own demographic and group. So like you're already warped. Like your perception of this is going to be already skewered. Like, you was in an environment that does not suit your demographic. Like, you was an extreme ethnic minority, and we know the reality on this planet is that the standard of beauty in the mainstream is white. Like, and that's just it.
Groups of boys would come up to us, but honestly, it would be like I wasn't even there. I wouldn't even get a hello. The most I'd get is this. Ugh. Like, why have you brought your pet monkey out with you? Pure invisible. Wow. Every other day it was black girls this, black girls that, black. Until I think it was around like sixth form. This is like 2014/2015. It started to switch. This was when Afrobeat started coming up. Now it was cool to be black. It was cool to be African. It was cool to be Nigerian. Whereas a couple of weeks before, that was illegal. Then all of a sudden I'm getting, oh, you know, Taimi's kind of like... Taimi's what? Taimi was Jabinho last week, or whatever other football players you guys like to compare me to. I remember around the early stages where it started to switch around. We went out. I think it was my 18th. I just turned 18. For reference, this is what I look like at 18. Sorry, that's actually very cute. But anyway, we went out, and I remember there was this like group of white boys, and one of them was like,
what did I tell you? White boys. What did I tell you? What did I tell you? She's around white people and in white environments, and she's wondering why she's not getting the same level of attention as the white girls that she's hanging around. Duh. Think about it.
Oh, I like her, like pointing at me. And then my friend at the time was like, wait, who? And then pointed out one of the other white girls that we were with. Like, of course it can't be Xavier talking about, not the monkey. So then he was like, no, her, that girl, pointing at me again. Then she came up to me and was like, oh, you're never gonna guess what? He just said that he prefers you over, let's say the girl's name is Kelly. She literally came up to me with excitement and shock. He just said that he prefers you over Kelly. She said it like it was, whoa, what? What's going on with all of that? Like it couldn't be possible. Thankfully, I always had high self-esteem. Like I knew who I was from a very early age. Because if not, I would have grown up thinking I was butt ugly all that time. It was when I got to uni that the appreciation actually started to settle in.
Yeah, and I've talked about this phenomena many times that, you know, black people, whether it's black men or black women that live in predominantly white areas, you will start to feel like, rah, maybe I am very unattractive, because the people in your environment are suited to their own ethnic group. They predominantly want to date their own ethnic group, and they are not going to view you as attractive. Simple. Like, I think that a lot of people don't understand this point. And me personally, I've lived in all different environments. I've lived in predominantly black environments as a black guy, mixed environments as a black guy, and predominantly white environments as a black guy. And I understand the difference. So when you are in a predominantly white environment as a black person, people are not going to view you as attractive like that. There's always going to be one or two exceptions, or one or two people might appreciate you and whatever. But the vast majority of people, they don't find you attractive. It's as simple as that. But that doesn't mean that you're ugly. It doesn't necessarily mean you're ugly. It just means you're in the wrong location. Yeah, you're in the wrong market.
What a life.
As someone who was never considered pretty going to school, and that was usually because I was dark-skinned, I'm realizing how much of that played into how I see myself with other people, specifically men now. A lot of my friends have this great way of carrying themselves when it comes to men and entering certain rooms that I've always been like, oh, I love that. That's so beautiful. But I realized that I didn't carry it the same because I was still holding on to the younger version of me that didn't feel like they were attractive enough. Even so, when it came to men approaching me, I felt like I had to entertain them because who knew if it would happen again, because, you know, kind of felt like an ugly girl syndrome. Like it would not happen. It was once in a blue, even to the point of dating attractive men. I was like, damn, how'd I land him? The fuck? But now that I'm older and I am so aware of myself and so aware of all of this and the rest of the body, because I know y'all seen it, I have now come to the point where I'm just like, bitch, what are you doing? But it's in the sense of I'm very proud of myself. I'm like, yes, Fab, now we're aware of who we are. We're aware of how we are presented in this world. So let's change how we do things. So if you are a man that had access to me in a certain way, please know it's now revoked.
You see, this is what I told you. A lot of these women have come out, they're talking about, oh, I used to be unattractive, or people treated me like I'm unattractive. Now they all got ego. Now they're all tens. Now you can't tell them nothing, bro.
I know what I deserve. And it's not crumbs. It's not the bare minimum. And it's not bullshit. So I'm sorry to you, but I'm thankful to me. She's aware. If you're a girl that's not aware, a girl, guy, gay, they, whatever, it's okay. It'll take time sometimes. But start looking at yourself in the mirror. Start being aware of how you carry yourself. Start being aware of like, wow, I'm amazing. Why wouldn't somebody want to be with me? So then you can act accordingly and not put up with the bullshit. Because going forward, I'm very much staying present. I'm very much being aware of who I am and what I deserve. And if you cannot come with all the goods, it's been real. Speak.
I mean, yeah, good luck with that. I mean, everybody deserves respect from a partner and to be treated like treated fairly and stuff like that. But there is levels to this. Everybody is not the same looks level. So at the end of the day, people, men, women, you could believe whatever you think about yourself. But really and truly, does your type find you to be attractive? Or in other words, are you your type's type? Yeah, and you have to be real about it. You have to be real. Does your type gravitate to you? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, so, yeah.
Clear, I'm not saying it in the sense of, oh, I'm a gold digger, this, that, and third. I'm saying it in the sense of emotional well-being, feeling safe around you and protected around you, feeling like I actually want to be my full self with you, not parts of myself. And if I don't feel that way, then again, message was for all the girls that have been like me, girls, guys, gays, and they.
Yo, big up Omar for the super chat. He says they want the world to change around them. Exactly. And the funny thing is that a lot of these people, these women here anyway, they're talking all of this stuff, but these are the same women that are rejecting men that are on the same looks level as themselves. Yes. I'll say that again for anyone that didn't catch it. The irony is these same women that are complaining about, oh, in high school, no one cared about me. They said I was unattractive. They didn't want to talk to me, blah, blah, blah. Guess what? Today, they're now rejecting men who are on the same looks level as themselves. We're not talking about men treating them poorly or being bad partners. We're talking about they are rejecting men based on looks. When really and truly, these men are on the same looks level. Because most women these days think they're tens. Most women these days want to get with Chad or Tyrone. And that's it.
That have felt like me and been where I've been, I promise you it'll change. Give it time. But when you enter in that space, I promise you it's going to be amazing. It might be a little bit harder dating, but it's going to be amazing knowing your worth and not putting up with people's BS, because you can be done with it that much quicker.
Get ready with me while I tell you how I was the ugly friend for years and I didn't even know. My friend and I would always hang out all the time. And it was cool. My friends were pretty. Obviously, I don't know. I just knew really pretty girls and I used to hang out with them all the time. Then
women always say that their friends are pretty. And I never trust that, bro. I never trust that.
I recently found out this information I'm telling you, is very brand new information to me as well. So what it was that my friend posted one of my pictures recently and they were like, and the guy was like, oh, wow, is this that your friend? She's now fine, oh. So she told me this thing and she was like, that people are hyping my pic code. They were like that, that's, one of her friends was like, that I'm now fine, oh. She now told me somebody else was like, who is this girl? Bear in mind, this babe, we hang out if you know her, you know me. If you know me, you know her, that sort of thing. So it's for people to still be shocked and surprised, then they're posting my picture. It was not computing to me. I was like, okay, I didn't take it as anything. But then, true to myself, at the end of the day, as an overthinker, I started just thinking about it this one, everybody's like, you are now fine. Were you ugly before? Were you ugly before? I don't know how to explain it, but like that was what came to my mind. Like, oh my god, these people must have probably thought that I was not fine before. Then I was still thinking it too. My friend now confirmed it for me. I was like, they must have thought I was ugly. And then she now told me how like one of the guys there was like, oh, this your ugly friend, that kind of thing.
Big up to Afrik NY, yeah, for the super chat. You can't reverse engineer biology. Seek your level. This is what I'm saying. Like these women are complaining, but the reason why they are so disgruntled is because their looks are not allowing them access to the men that they really want to date, the men that they truly have attraction for, Chads and Tyrones. Yeah, and Chads and Tyrones predominantly are gonna be with the more attractive women, but they will from time to time deal with women who are less attractive if they, you know, they just have spare time. That's what they do. That's what Chad and Tyrone does. You know, now then these women, they all sleep with these guys, you know, occasionally, you know, every so often, and then they believe that, oh, you know, because they slept with a Chad and Tyrone, that's their level now. And they'll reject and look down and disrespect men who are actually on the same level as themselves. They are rejecting the guys who are evenly yoked with them. That's the problem.
When I tell you that, my mind was blown. I was like, I didn't say anything because it's not a big deal, whatever. But like now I'm just thinking about it and I'm like, wow, people really used to think I was ugly. The point of this conversation is that I didn't know that people used to think I was not pretty or I was not fine. And quite frankly, I'm so thankful that I did not know. Because imagine if I knew. How would I have grown up? How would I have been operating? Like, God forbid, though.
You would have grown up with insecurity and low self-esteem. That's what would have happened. You probably would be making a different kind of video right now. Yeah? And, you know, good for you. You didn't know that people didn't find you attractive back in the day. And now, you know, these same people find you attractive now. So you can live your movie, innit?
The point of this conversation is that, like, what people think of you truly doesn't matter. Is what you think about yourself. Because see how my ignorance has even saved me. And, like, I can just imagine, like, how many times maybe those people would have been... Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, I can just imagine how many times they'll probably be seeing me that year. And I'll be dressing up and feeling like a gorgeous girl because I truly used to feel gorgeous. And I'm gorgeous. I still feel gorgeous, whatever. But, like, that year, like, I used to slay. I used to think that, oh, I'm dressing up. I'm looking nice. I'll do my makeup. I even learned how to do eyebrows back in the day. So nobody could tell me anything. So to me now, it's really crazy. But it just further cements, like, the thing that I want to say in this video, which is that what people think about you is not your problem. It's what you think about yourself that is the most important thing. And if you're operating on, like, the high energy of what you think about yourself, there's nothing anybody's saying that's going to affect you. They can think it in their minds, but, you know, it's not affecting you. That's all. Like, it was just a very...
That's not quite true. If you understood what people were thinking about you, it would have affected you because obviously looks is very important to you. So what you're saying is not completely accurate. The theory is good, but the reality is the reality.
Wild discovery for...
I used to be ugly, and even as I got prettier, I realized I still couldn't win. Here are my credentials. Oh, this is a favorite. Yep. When I was ugly, I got made fun of, I got asked out as a joke, I was treated like I was invisible, but I was still taken seriously. People automatically assumed that due to my lack of appearance, I had something else going for me. Which was true, I was smart, but I didn't get any less smart as I got prettier. And in pursuit of better treatment, I started working on my appearance, I started working on my hygiene, and I got that better treatment, but the intention behind said treatment was much more superficial. And the closer I got to the conventional beauty standard, the more my appearance would validate who I was internally, and also diminish it. People would take my opinion and consider it, but it suddenly meant less because of the mouth it came out of. As a woman, no matter how lovely or intelligent you may be, if you are attractive in any way, your appearance becomes your most valuable attribute. And for the longest time, I was obsessed with working on external factors because I thought it would bring light to who I was internally, but the opposite's true. There's no winning. It just attracts the wrong people. It's like getting plastic surgery in pursuit of finding love. The people it attracts to are just there for the wrong reasons.
Yeah. Like, what she's saying is true to a certain degree, but it's kind of going back to what I said about a man trying to lead with his wallet. If you're a man that thinks, oh, you know, I just need to get money and then I'm going to get a girlfriend or get a wife or get women or whatever. Yeah, you may be able to attract women now that you've got money and you're flashing it, but you're probably going to be attracting gold diggers. That's the thing. But it seems funny that this woman's come to this epiphany that, oh, now that I'm decent looking, you know, people don't take me seriously. Well, unfortunately, life is not fair. Yeah, you can't have it all, right? You can't have it all.
To any young woman hearing this, and I cannot stress this enough, your appearance is the least interesting part about you. If you think working on what you look like will win you genuine respect or care from other people, you're wasting your time.
Then why are you still doing it then? She's trying to say, if a woman works on her looks and gets attractive, it's a waste of time. Then why are you still putting on makeup and doing your hair? Why don't you go back to how you used to look? What are you talking about?
Any connection you make based off of those superficial factors is worth nothing. Decentralize appearance from your life, because I promise it'll only destroy you in the long run.
And she's saying that with all this makeup and the like on her face. Okay.
I'm going through my notes and I see this note from 2022 that says, I low-key miss the invisibility that came with being perceivably ugly. And that's facts, but it made me think about how grateful I am that I grew up unattractive. I really remember in middle school when I was like, damn, like I am objectively ugly. Like I had crooked teeth, I had a patch of hair that would not grow, like my skin was fucked up. I was just looking crazy. And I remember when I was getting a little older, like about to move up into high school, I remember saying to myself like, okay, you could be insecure about how you look. That's fine. That's whatever. But you're not about to go through life being an insecure ass girl. Like, we're not going to do that. And so I had a little project within myself where I'm like, where am I going to get my self-worth from? Where am I going to get my confidence from? And by the time I hit high school, I was pretty confident within myself. Still insecure about my looks. That's fine. But I'm like, I'm talented as hell. I'm creative as hell. I'm smart as hell. Those are things nobody could take from me. And that's where my self-value and that's where my self-confidence come from. Another positive is how detached I am from my vessel. This makes things like body neutrality way easier. I wholeheartedly understand that this is just a vessel. This is just the body that I inhabit. I did not choose this body. I did not choose this face. I didn't choose anything about how I physically look. However, the things that I put time and effort into, the inner work that I've done, that holds a lot more with
so much to be.
And I'll say this about what this girl has said. Everything she said is on point. I agree with what she said. I think, you know, it's good that she came to this realization and it's helped her get through high school or whatever. But the question is if you was more objectively attractive, would you have come to these same realizations? Probably not. Do you get what I'm saying? And in an honest moment, if I was to ask you if I could go back in time and make you more conventionally attractive, would you choose that life, or would you choose the life of all these realizations about you just being in a vessel and all of that and creating all these talents that you have? Which life would you choose? Because I could put money on it that you would choose to be better looking. I'm just being honest.
put time and effort into.
Ugly and what that does to you even after having like a glow up. And if you think I'm ugly still, that's fine. You're welcome to that opinion. Leave me alone. If I have a lisp, it's because I have my retainer in. And this is your sign to start fucking wearing your retainer, because most people who need a retainer never wear it. And I'm just so scared of my teeth getting crooked again that I always wear mine, but I started noticing it was getting a little more crooked, so I was like, let me just wear it a little bit longer because I'm scared. I speak as much on the male experience of growing up like uggos, but I can for the female experience. Growing up ugly, I always felt like I was such a nuisance to everybody, and I just felt like people get like annoyed when I talk. I felt like everything I said was dumb. I was treated like shit. Once I had my quote unquote like glow up, one, I didn't fucking realize I had one. I kind of noticed people started being nicer to me, and the people who used to treat me like fucking garbage are like nice, and I was like, what's happening? And you know,
why do these women swear so much? You notice that a lot of these women these days, they swear so much. They talk like a pirate.
Notice people start like complimenting you more, and you're like, huh? You don't believe it because you've literally never been complimented in your entire life, and you feel like fucking crap about yourself. And then so many people are like, you're pretty, you're this, you're that. You're like,
what? But the long-term effects of it is so insane because I feel like even in my day-to-day life now, still that insecure like 14-year-old inside of me that's like, will I ever be pretty enough? See it in how your dating life goes too. You're noticing you always date guys that treat like shit. You're always settling and everyone's always telling you you deserve so much better. Probably because you grew up ugly and felt like we're never gonna find someone. So now that you finally did, even though you're stunning now, you're like, this is the best I'm ever gonna do. Like
even though you're stunning now. Dude, what did I tell you? They got egos now, bro. They got egos because, like, this is the reality, yeah? Any woman that you come across in this day and age, especially in the West, that is attractive, she's going to have an ego, right? Even a lot of the women who are, you know, just above average looking, a lot of them have an ego as well. They're gorgeous. I'm stunning. I'm beautiful. I know nobody can't tell me nothing. I'm not going to settle for less than Chad or Tyrone. Yep.
I'm too ugly for anybody else. Settle because you're so used to being treated like shit that you're convinced that's the best it's gonna get. You don't know.
And yeah, you're probably getting treated like crap by Chad and Tyrone because Chad and Tyrone has got options. Yeah, you're probably better looking than you was. So now you've been able to sleep around with Chad and Tyrone. But Chad and Tyrone are going to do what Chad and Tyrone does. And that's smash box. Different boxes. Right? And that's it, fam.
Know any better because your whole life you felt like you were taking up so much space, and now that finally people are treating you like a human being, you're like, what is the standard? All I've ever known is being treated like shit, so you accept being treated like shit.
I grew up a very unattractive person.
So I'm making a part 2 to this because I really didn't get to make my main point in the first part. But the main thing I wanted to say is when you're still on your self-love journey and you're in the earlier stages of building yourself up, regaining your confidence, when your whole surroundings told you that you were ugly, you were unattractive, people treated you like you were ugly, like you were unattractive, it's going to take time to build yourself up. It's going to take time to have that confidence when you walk in the room. But narcissistic and abusive men go for the women who aren't that sure of themselves and who are insecure because they know that they're going to tolerate their BS the longest. Women who are really secure in themselves and almost feel like they're a prize and feel like they're a hot commodity, they flick men away like boogers because it's like, at the end of the day, I know I could always get me another one. And
yeah, and guess what? At the end of the day, when you've been flicking all these guys away like boogers, guess who you run into? So don't get gassed about them women who have high self-esteem and blah, 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 because a lot of them end up washed up.
And it won't take long neither. Matter of fact, there's somebody waiting to take your spot right now. It can get like that. But when you don't really feel like that, you don't have that kind of cockiness about yourself, you put up with abuse, narcissism, neglect for a lot longer. And abusive men look for that because they know that you will put up with their stuff for years, put up with being abused, and they know that they can get away with not loving you the way you should be loved. But guess what? You'll be there, you'll be loving them the way they should be loved, and you'll be doing everything that they want you to do for them, and they won't have to pour into you at all because they know that you feel like you need them for one reason or another. So during your self-love journey, when you're still in the earlier stages of building yourself up and you're still fragile, it's okay. It's okay not to date. And it's not even about, oh, I'm 21 and I don't have a man. I'm 25 and I don't have a man. Everybody's life journey is different.
Why did you do this video and then put the caption over your face? I just don't understand why you did your video like that. It's really annoying. But anyway.
Everybody's stage of life is different. There's a season for everything. It's better to do something later on, but do it right, than do something early and be getting abused and not be treating the way you know that you deserve to be treated. So yeah.
How to tell if you're being treated like the ugly friend? So growing up, I definitely say I was considered the ugly.
Why have you put a transfer on your forehead? I don't understand this. Why did you just do... Oh my God.
Friend. And this is just the things I've noticed and picked up on. One thing I noticed was people would let me know. Oh wow, would they let me know? And it was never to my face because people are fake. They would literally like just talk behind my back. Like they'd just do a whole bunch of yapping behind my back. See, now I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. I was a little ugly. But for some reason, I had the fattest, dirtiest ego on the planet. Anytime a guy was looking at me, I was like, stop staring at me. I see you looking. Stop. Like I literally actually give them dirty looks back because I'm like, I'm not interested.
They wasn't looking at me because they thought I was pretty. I was just delusional. Next is how you get treated next to your prettier friends. All my friends were pretty growing up, at least to me. When I was next to them, I was invisible. Guys would treat me like I was vermin. Like they pulled me out of the drain and looked at me and said, ew. So like after a while, I started noticing, oh my gosh, like I do not get attention like how they do. Like all the guys would be on them like, hey, how are you? I would dress like an absolute slut in winter, no matter what anybody said, just to try to get some attention because I was desperate. And no matter what I did or how I dressed, these guys were not paying attention to me. It wasn't just the guys. The girls would treat the prettier girls better as well. They'd literally gag on their cock because they was pretty. Personally, for me, I don't have anybody's balls in my mouth. Next is if people are just rude to you, like unnecessarily. Nobody knew that I was a big-headed bitch in my head, but I was still always really nice to everybody. People were just rude. Once again, it was always the teenage boys because I swear I have PTSD from how teenage boys treated everybody growing up. Pretty girl would be like, oh no, I'm cold. Can I have your jacket? Oh yeah, sure, I'll give you my jacket. Do you want my kidney? Do you want my life?
Bro, life is not fair. All right, you're saying all of this stuff. Life is not fair. And you are talking about you probably had some kind of ego and you had a big mouth, blah, blah, blah. I'm sure you said horrible things to people as well. And I still don't understand why you've put this transfer sticker on the middle of your forehead. I don't understand what that is meant to mean. Like, I'm just confused.
I will hand my life over to you. I will sign a contract. I will sell my soul to the devil. But if I said, hey, Can you pass me that thing over there? Talk to me again and I'm going to kill you. I'm going to murder your mum. I'm going to murder your dad. I'm going to murder your family. Next is they'd only focus on like one asset that you have. When I was growing up, I had a big bum and I had big boobs. I would not get referred to as my name. I wouldn't get called pretty, but what I would get called out as was, hey, light skin with a big bum. They didn't think I was pretty. They didn't even take the time out to learn my name, but they remembered that I had a bum. And that was the only thing that made them show any small type of respect towards me. You would not get invited places, and when you did get invited, people would just like seem like they just didn't really care whether or not you was there. It was actually so embarrassing. People would literally sit there and be like, yeah, come if you want. What do you mean? Did I show up like a little desperate child? Yeah, of course I did. So I showed up like a desperate child. Was I proud of it? Yeah, probably. And last but not least, on the days where you actually looked like different or prettier, or when you started to have a glow up, the girls you used to know were jealous. The way some of these girls switch up when they realize they can't use you as the ugly friend anymore. Instead of just saying, oh, you're pretty, they will find any way to bring you down and...
Yeah, because women tend to not like each other, really. You lot don't like each other, not genuine. A lot of times you lot are not real friends. You have ulterior motives. Yeah, it's not real friendships. That's why most times when you're talking to a lot of these women, they'll be like, oh, my friend, I used to be friends with this one. I used to be friends with that one. Well, they always fell out over something very petty. Yeah, it's just, they don't really like each other.
Still make you feel like that ugly friend. Because now they got a little bit of competition. They got some competition and they didn't expect that from you. I ended up getting a lot of attention from guys because I also had the body and then my face just got nicer. And some of these girls, they would just make snarky comments like, why does she always get all the guys? Like, oh, why is she talking to her? Like, why are all these guys moving to you? And I'm like, because I'm pretty. Like, they try to make you feel like the unbelievable has just happened if a guy speaks to you. But more of the story is you're not the ugly friend, okay? People are just freaking salty and teenage boys are just assholes.
Okay.
I'm not ugly, but if you ask me if I had ugly privilege, I sure as shit did. And the biggest lesson I can give to you from that experience is that all men are the same. The fundamental difference between a man that pursues ugly women versus a man that pursues conventionally attractive women is that the men who pursue ugly don't lie to you about who they are. These men legitimately think that you were so desperate and lonely and aching for love that you don't really give a fuck, and you will take the worst of the worst, and they are the worst of the worst. Here's the secret, though. They're all the worst of the worst. Because I spent a lot of time watching the predator instead of being the prey, I got to peep a lot of game. And there is an insane amount of strategy that goes into almost every single interaction that a man has with a boy.
I would have to ask, why, first of all, why have you got these strange glasses on? Yeah. Second of all, what is it with this septum piercing? Where did this trend start and why? Because I don't know any guy that's ever said, oh yeah, I prefer when women have a septum piercing through their nose. Like, I really am looking for women that have septum piercings. Oh my God, I find septum piercings so attractive. I don't understand what that trend is. but I know that I find it extremely unattractive. Even when I see a woman who is conventionally good looking and attractive and they have a septum piercing, it is a turn off. It's literally a turn off.
Woman. So please take it from me. The only difference between a man that's willing to pursue ugly women versus a man that only pursues conventionally attractive, beautiful women is that only one of those people is putting effort into the con.
I hate to break it to y'all, but whether you are pretty or ugly in this world, it decides how you are treated. I've spoken about this before and I'm going to do it again because it's like some people don't understand that being considered ugly or like fat and so on really, really, really decides whether or not you're treated good.
I can't be able to listen to you again, man, because you talk for way too long. Way too long. Let me move on to this video here. Let's see what this one's got to say.
Okay, I guess it's time to actually reveal my age since I have had guesses all over the place. All right, I'm 24. I'm not 38 to 42.
This woman here said she's 24. Nah. You have to be trolling. This woman here says she's 24, bro. Nah. You are aging rapidly, fam.
Not even in my late 20s yet. I'm 24. I was born in 2000, May of 2000. Okay, so I'm even like a late 2000s baby. 24. I don't really understand, okay? And at first I was like, oh, maybe it's just people think I'm older on TikTok. No, this is a person in person who said I look 38, and now all the TikTok comments think I look older.
Okay, I saw this girl that says that Gen Z looks older than they are. How old do you think I am? First, like, how old?
How old does this woman look? She looks like she might be 30, bro. She looks like she could be 28, 30, 32, 33. That's what I think.
I'm about to turn 21.
She said she's about to turn 21. Bro, you are cooked. You said you're about to turn 20. You're not even 21. You're 20. So you're about to turn 21. Bruh. This is incredible.
I feel like I still look like I'm 16. I don't know.
I'm a 40-year-old board certified dermatologist, and is Gen Z aging faster than us, millennials? Because according to our friends in the New York Times, Gen Z believes they're aging like milk, and it's not a good thing. They were slapping on skincare.
Look, this woman here's 40. She looks like the same age as those other two women. This is crazy.
Inflaming their skin in the process, and the worst thing you could do for your skin in the long run is chronic inflammation, because guess what? They were too young to ever need all that skincare. They carry the weight of the world on their shoulders. Happy people age slower.
What's this rubbish, man? What is this rubbish? Oh, that's it. Alright, cool. Alright, cool, man. It's crazy out here. It's crazy out here. Them last two or three videos was just wild, bro. Like, I don't know, like, all you lot, you need to stay in shape, stop eating junk, exercise, drink more water, stop smoking and stop drinking alcohol, because, boy, that's not a good look. You're 21 and you're looking like you're 35. That's scary, bro. That's scary. Anyway, you lot, please make sure you all hit the like button under this video. Obviously, I'm going to cut this up into smaller chunks. Yeah. And yeah, man, this has been really interesting. Yeah, big up to the guys that hit the super chat. And yeah, man, just look after yourselves, man. Look after yourselves, man. And if you're not good looking, it's cool, man. You will survive.